Yeah. Since 2019, we've been building mindset and purpose. For real estate agents, entrepreneurs, leaders, people becoming more than they were yesterday.
Monday through Friday we rise. We win the morning, we win the mind. Faith over fear, pressure into purpose. Confidence built through the work. Something good is gonna happen to me. Something good is gonna happen to me. I don't need all the answers, I just need belief. Becoming who I'm called to be. Making impact bigger than me. God first, doubt steps back. When it gets heavy, we figure it out. You're not here by accident. You're part of the story. Stepping strong, stepping faith. Let's get your mindset right.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning to everyone. Happy Figure It Out Friday. Happy Figure It Out Friday. It's been a figure out week for us. It has been a figure out week for us in the wonderful world of Go High Level. We are working through it. We are working through it. Go High Level and spam, and this link that we have has given us a little bit of some challenges here or there, but we are working through it. We are working through it. And just let us figure it out, all. Let us figure it out, Latrice. Latrice, just let us figure it out. We are going to get to it. Unfortunately, a lot of our numbers have dropped off about, I don't know, 40%. And it's because this link is having some challenges on getting people to the right location and everything else. But we're gonna work through it and see what we got. But put good morning in the chat, especially when we see D and Danny together. Normally, Danny, look at those two, the daughter, mother. Look at that right there. They both. I mean, D was in up north in Michigan, I believe, and Danny down in Florida. Danny, it's just we're just so used to you seeing you like in the lab, like in the science room over there, like using like some I don't know what it is you're doing over there, but it's weird to see in a normal setting over here with your mom. So we're happy to have you. Say good morning in the chat. Come on, video. What up, Sarah? Sarah's one of my coaching clients, new coaching client. She doesn't like me, Latrice. She doesn't like me right now because I'm making her tail go to the gym right after this. And she's on West Coast. So it is 5:15 in the morning. I'm like, you're going to the gym right after her. So that's how we do it here. We make you do things you don't want to do. And that's the figured out process that we got. So good morning, everybody. My name is Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach. DAD, and I'm just going to a little shout out to my daughter. Even though we are having a fun time as a teenager, I'm getting through it though. I'm getting through it, but she has her first middle school, like actually middle school tournament. Her team, they have over 70 middle schools in our area, and they made it in the top 6 in our county. They're ranked number 3. And so they have a tournament tonight and then it goes into tomorrow. So I'm very excited about it. It's our first school tournament. She's played in a lot of club leagues. I don't know. I just think when you play in the school, it's a little bit different. Other coaches are watching. High school coaches come out and see you play. So soccer. So she plays soccer. I'm really excited as a dad to go see her play on this. So we will see. I'm probably more fired up than she is. I might even tailgate. I might tailgate David. I don't know. We might get a little crazy. We'll see what we got. So today's guest, I met Debra. First of all, let me just read you her title because her title is pretty impressive. All right. I'm just going to share. See, what I love about humble people, they're not going to really share their title as much as I'm going to share their title. So just listen to the type of person we got here. Okay, this is what Gemini says about you, Deborah. It says Deborah has been named the 2026 president-elect for the Residential Real Estate Council. She brings exclusive leadership experience to the role. She's currently serves as the CEO and co-owner of the Ashton Real Estate Group at Remax. And boy, you've had a week over there, I can tell you, I'm sure. And has been recognized as the 2024 Woman of Influence and 2023 Realtor of the Year. I got to give you a round of applause on that. That's pretty impressive that you got here. And I'm excited to have you. I met you when I was obviously up there with Gary and was able to speak at your year-end awards event. And let me just tell y'all, when you got a team that does over $1 billion in sales a year, those freaking numbers are very, very impressive. It's not very often I go to awards banquets and see those type of numbers on there. So hats off to you. So guys,
Thank
put
you.
some fives in the chat. Put some love in the chat as we welcome Miss Debra Beagle. Good morning, Deborah, over there in
Good morning.
Tennessee.
Good morning, Brock. Oh, started talking in it. Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. And we've got a gorgeous sunny day here. So we're looking forward to a beautiful day today. Yeah, so good to talk with you again.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here this morning in Nashville. You guys have quite the weather recently between the ice storm a couple months ago. Then I heard some tornadoes recently and some crazy things over there. So I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
you got some sunny skies finally.
Uh-huh. Sunny skies because the weather seems to parallel the real estate market for us this year.
Yeah. So true.
It truly has. So it's been interesting, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys to talk today. Brock came in January and spoke to our team at our awards, our annual awards, and really helped motivate and ground our agents. And again, I'm looking forward to talking with you guys today because 15 years ago, I was a single agent. We had two young kids at home, and I was grinding and kind of killing myself all on my own. I think in 2011 or 12, I did 68 transactions by myself without an assistant or anything before I met my business partner. So while we talk of, managing broker and CEO of our 200 and some agents now, we all start somewhere. So, and building a business, but I'm excited to talk with all of you today.
Yeah, and one of the things all that's really exciting that we're going to talk about later too is where I'm doing the summit in New Orleans is the
Mhm.
same week that the NAR is doing their summit in New Orleans. And
Yeah.
so I'm really, really excited about having that opportunity with you all on that. So, Deborah,
Mhm.
it is our Figured Out Friday. This is our Figured Out Friday
Mhm.
show that we have. And we have just a lot of amazing people on here. And one of the cool things about Figured Out Friday is people just think that successful people, the CEO, president, that you just woke up and just, I arrived, here I am. Thank you, everybody. I'll just, give me your checks and
Yeah.
I'll just keep on going. But we know it's not like that. So, in the figure it out moments, I asked people some moments, some defining moments where you really kind of had to, we don't have a life owner's manual. Where's
No.
some, where was a moment for you where it really was testing the waters, your mindset, just you as a whole on a figuring out defining moment for you?
Yeah. Well, and I go back, because I talk about this a lot to newer agents or agents that have been in the business a long time but have been doing it on their own. In 2011, which again, right at that point, online leads, the whole internet ecosystem wasn't what it is today. And I am very much into relationships, and my business at that point where I mentioned I was doing 68 transactions a year, was heavy referral. open houses. I mean, we were coming out of the recession, and in call, before that, I was kind of a semi-pro photographer. So I was shooting my own photos at a very high level. I was measuring my own houses. You guys know when you do it all
Yeah.
yourself and you get to a point, you can't grow because your average price point at that point wasn't moving unless you go to a different area. You don't have capacity to do more unless you add staff. And at that time, coming out of the recession, that was a tough choice because any salary, and as a business person, when you add that creates that, okay, I have to be able to do this because if I don't, I can't support not only myself, but I can't support who is helping me. But I made the decision, and I knew I needed help. I was, again, your capacity to grow is limited. You can't grow if your capacity of how many transactions you can do a year. And you'll know if you start working more with buyers or sellers. I was heavy listings, so I that's where I was able to do more by myself. But listings were sitting 9 to 10 months, which some markets across the country now are pushing 4 to 5 months. And that's a whole new in the last 6 years for some agents to try to
Yeah.
figure out how to manage listings. But again, in that space, I knew I needed to grow and thrive. I really identified, I wrote down what were my strengths, what were my loves. My loves are really serving the client at the highest level, which, as Brock mentioned, I'm going to be president of the Residential Real Estate Council next year. And I've also now been tapped in alongside that to be an NAR liaison, which is senior level, supporting members of NAR as well. So those two combined really are giving NARs leaning into helping all agents be the very best in this business. Because if you're here today with Brock, you are committed to your business and you want to either thrive at the level you are or grow and thrive and expand your business. I met my business partner, Gary Ashton. At that point in 2011, he was one of the few doing online lead generation, and he
Mhm.
had 17 agents, buyer's agents. He didn't have many listings. I had like 40 listings, and we ran, and I had been thinking about it, and God just randomly had us meet. And we are yin yang because he sees things from one perspective, I see them from the other. And when we met, I was like, hmm, I could help train those agents and teach those agents. They could go sit and do open houses for me on all my listings. And then he's like, she has all those listings. We could generate buyer leads online. And the moment that we connected, his team of 17 was doing about 78 million. I was doing about 11 million by myself. The year after we combined, we did 148 million. And then we
Wow.
just kept adding people and growing to where we are today in 3 states, 200, and I think we're almost to 240 agents, like-minded. Where
The
we all
culture is amazing there. That's what I've been so impressed with your culture on what on in and another thing I want to add to your culture. I mean, just pouring into people. That's why this
Mhm.
alignment and being on this show here all. But she said something to you. Sharon said this and Deborah, you said the same thing here in reference to Sharon made a comment saying, everybody comes into if you come in with the perspective that everybody comes into your life for a reason, that God put them in your for a reason, it's up to you to understand that, embrace it, and it might be for you to help them or for them to help you. Either or is reciprocated and perfectly fine. And when you met Gary, and
Mhm.
somebody you all hear today, there's somebody in your life that probably is there with you, or you're going to come across somebody and it happens. It's like a click. It's just like, huh, something's happening here and where do we grow with it? And that's why I really loved your word grow in that. Now it probably wasn't instantaneous or was it with
Oh, it
you and
was.
Gary?
It literally
Okay.
was. It literally was one of those. We went for a luxury open house 2 hour, six home tour, and his car was in the shop or something. And then he was like, "Can I hitch a ride with you around these six houses for 2 hours?" Sat in the back seat, and when people lean forward between the seats, and and I didn't realize he was who he was till the end of the day when we exchanged business cards. We just knew each other's first names and that was it. And then I was like, and I had heard about him the week before from some people in my office that were like, there's this guy generating online leads. And at that point, it was weird to hear about that. And sure enough, yeah, it was we started communicating on Facebook and things like that. And yeah, it was he saw it and I saw it. If we put the two together, which is relevant now because we are in such a space of change right now with
Mm,
with AI mergers and things like that that and it's what I'm, communicating to our agents as well, that looking at change, every change that has occurred in my life has been probably one of the most difficult periods of time in my life, but then also has been and led to the biggest growth in my life. So, because we just started expanding at that point. And, I think right now is great opportunity for those that lean in and embrace it. What I am telling our agents is, AI is not going to replace the human factor. Um, and I even saw it firsthand 3 days ago. One of my clients who we finally got their house listed, finally got a contract, and I called to tell her how excited I was for the contract, and I thought she'd be excited. And as soon as I said we got a great contract, she started sobbing and crying. It was a life change moment for her, and I had to pause. It caught me. Because I've known her a long time, and we just paused, and I said, everything is okay, and we're going to be okay, and it's time. This is the right time. This is the time. And I said, just go to sleep tonight. Say some prayers. We'll talk again in the morning, but it's okay. AI is not going to do that. That's where
mm.
you guys and we lean in, even at that smallest level. The more you are in tune with the service to the client, because ultimately it's selling houses and helping our clients. And all of this other stuff around us is there to help us do that better, faster, easier. But when it comes to that connection and having the empathy, tell everybody empathy is your number one highest, most important thing. It's to be able to just to pause and to really put yourself into your client's space and listen to them and understand what it is they're wanting to accomplish and they need, and be that Sherpa, that guide. Because no matter how much technology you have, and I'd heard that one at a conference once, the Sherpa, you can go climb Mount Everest and have all the greatest technology. But the person who's climbed it 100 times, I'd take that person with me over any amount of all the best technology because they've been there, they're going to help you, and they have that knowledge and skill and empathy there to do it. So,
Those personal I wrote down empathy over here for those taking notes. Like I'm about to ask her a couple more questions too
okay.
about this because you get to see this from a different point of view at 10,000 feet, where a lot of us are regional minded or office minded in some of these. But it's so true. I hope you guys really understood that empathy and human connection, the relationships is something that no robot or AI or Claude code or anything can replace in reference to that because, when she's crying, there's a reaction that comes into Deborah and anybody else that hears that and AI can't really understand the emotion level and the empathy to be able to dive deeper and give a feeling onto that.
Yeah.
And so, Deborah, as you hear this from your perspective, and there's a lot of uncertainty in our domain, in our industry right now of the AI, and it's changing so rapidly and what they're doing, and AI bots and robots and different things that we've been hearing, and let alone mergers and acquisitions and everything
Mhm.
that comes into play. And I kind of went on my rant the other day. John Hart was laughing at me because I was just like, you know, it doesn't matter. It's you as an individual. Like any merger acquisition, unless you're the
Right.
CEO, like that's the only person who's either spending money or making a lot more money or whatever it might be. The rest of us, it's business as usual. And
Right.
like stay to the grind, stay to where you need to be focused. Give us your thoughts on this evolution from your perspective of what you're seeing in these some of these defining moments in today's like literally living in it today.
Well, and Brock, you said it. I think right now agents just need to focus on selling the homes and the clients. I think a lot of the stuff that's happening around us, be aware of it, how it will impact. Again, AI is here and it is helping us. It's helping in different areas, and I think that's where figuring out how to incorporate it into your business. And my business partner again is the king of technology and like every shiny new tech. We beta test a lot of stuff, but getting the agents to use it and getting us, how do we incorporate it into our lives? That's what I got to try to figure out and help. Like he's like, this is great. And then how do we get the agents to use it or how, but again, we will bring in agents. And this is where, some of the stuff right now that Shiloh, I don't know if you've have heard of Shiloh, but it is cutting edge now that is there to kind of I lean into disc profiling a lot.
Hmm.
I've been a master of trying to understand people, and this is where the empathy goes as well, because I want to be able to communicate with others that in in a way that they can understand, not just the way I present. So,
Amen.
so the Shiloh is connected to our follow-up boss, which is our CRM, but it starts to learn your personality, and most of us are salespeople. We're high, very connective with others, and you get that engineer or the attorney who's very and wants what they want when they want it, and and understanding how to communicate. So that is actually helping understand the client and giving you feedback on ways to communicate better with the client. And that's just one space, but I do think looking at technology and how you can incorporate it and have it move the needle for you. The mergers, the acquisitions, the MLSs, the lawsuits, all of that. How does it impact the business? And again, Brock said it. It's really, yes, all of this is important, but it is also your brand, and having the touches that you do with your clients on a regular basis is now more important than ever. So,
Yeah, it's so true, and and using these tools as a resource is really where I share with people, and spending time in your calendar to put it in there 30 minutes a day of just studying it and learning it because it's not going to
mm,
disappear, but you use it as a tool to be able to help. Like, I love the, moving the needle forward to be able to help you in your business, because if you just neglect to be like, oh, I'm not doing it, I'm like, I don't know if that's the right mindset to have. You can certainly have it. Like my dad hated tech phones and everything else. He's like, I'm not getting it. And then he would complain because he couldn't see something or whatever else. And eventually now he's got it. And he's got the flip or the iPhone. And I said
yeah.
to him, I said, Dad, you don't have to like the phone. You don't have to.
Mm.
Eventually, at some point, though, it's going to help you, and it's up to you on when you want to enter into that domain. And that's the same thing with AI. It's going to help you if you allow it. If not, you're going to be kind of on the on the sidelines to some extent. Doesn't mean that, it just all depends on your goals too and what you want. And so Shiloh, how many of you wrote that down? I wrote down that note
And
there.
it's
Shiloh.
Shilo. Yeah. But again, all of the tools, like consistency is key. And it's the stuff, because I've seen it over and over, agents who embrace process systems, but do it at a consistent level are the ones that have the most success. So, and if you're not as outgoing as some other salespeople or stuff, but you're consistent in your touches and your follow-up, the consumer out there today wants that. They want to know that you're going to bed and waking up every night thinking about their property or helping them find a home. And you can't ever over communicate. They want you, even if you
Mm.
don't have any updates, you're touching them. Even if they're not responding, you're touching them. So it's the consistency of what you're doing that is the most important, that will lead to the most success. It truly is. That's consistency and fortitude this year are my two words. Because
I
we
mean, the
will get
consist.
through all of these changes, and as the market changes. And if you just constantly remind yourself, it's about selling and buying, helping people buy and sell homes. And that's where your local brand, your local presence is super, super important. And knowing who you are, knowing we have our five core values of, we're innovative. So that means we change, adapt. Our agents that join us are able to do that. We follow processes and systems because that just sets others up for success. We're solution oriented. Any challenge that comes across, we have resources. We're going to figure it out. We do it at the highest level of integrity, and then we do it with heart. That's our company. Those are the agents that join us that kind of mesh with that. And we're stronger together. We
Mm.
just like to work with others. So
Give us those five real quick for those taking notes. I don't know if you guys heard those five, but those are like I was just like, yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Share us
yes.
those
And
five
and
real
and
quick.
and knowing who you are and what that is helps you make decisions, especially is if you're at a point that you're going to start to grow and you're going to find people to join you. Again, we are innovative. I mean, Gary beta tests. So people that join us have to be able to embrace change, which a lot of realtors, some don't. So that innovation is a core value of who we are. We follow processes and systems, and we do it consistently. And because that sets others up for success. If we have SOPs, even if you're a single agent, write down what you do. Because when you write it down, you can inspect it, and then you can share it with others to look at it, to improve it. And that's the only way things will get better. But you have to start by writing it down. We all know whenever we have a goal, we have to put it out there in the world, and we have to write it down. We have to say it. And once you say it to others and then you talk about it, it becomes your reality to make it happen. So, and then again, we're solution oriented. We have tons of resources. We can figure it out. If we can't figure it out on our own, we have others to help us figure it out. So that's the third. And then at the highest level of integrity, if you
Mm.
got a question if it's the right thing or not, it might not be the right thing. So that's part of having your processes and systems. And then you do it with heart. You collaborate, you share. Like I'm here with Brock right now, and he was with us in January. We're sharing our stories, we're sharing our knowledge. Share that with another agent that's in your office or that collaborate with. Don't hoard your knowledge, give it away because it comes back tenfold. You know,
Mm.
that's been around for a long, long time. So
So true. So true. Talking about writing it down, I like how you said because you can inspect it. I always like to say you can measure it because I always say give
yes,
yourself a grade. Like, how did you do? Like,
yeah,
Brielle, I told Brielle all the time, I said, Brielle, you got a grade. Like, there's a reason why you have a grade so we can measure you to see how well you did. As adults, I think we forget that. Like, well, I did
yeah,
not too bad. Like, what the hell does not too bad mean? Like,
that's right.
like
So
you can't define it and your brain doesn't comprehend not too bad, okay. But you understand if you got a B, right? If I said
right,
everybody got a B here, you'd be like, damn, there's room to improve,
yeah.
right? And your brain understands that. Um, so
And
real
and you
quick,
have to have that to add people to help you. Because in your
Mm-hmm.
head, if you have it all in your head of how you do something, and what we think is the most basic thing, but somebody doesn't know that. So you need to write it down. How do you work a buyer lead or a buyer referral that comes in? How do you work a listing? What are the steps that you do on a daily with that lead? Because I was a single 15 agent, 15 years ago, single agent. Now I have a staff of 30. I have, 200 and some agents. We meet every Friday at 2 p.m. My leadership team, our leadership team, we get together. Each department has metrics of what they do each week. And so every department now knows what everybody is doing. Are we hitting our metrics? Yes, we have a 24 to 48-hour turn time on getting our listings active. Are we doing that? Because if you're not hitting your goal, it's affecting somebody on the other end. And if you don't inspect it, like Brock said, do you really know? People will rise also if you have somebody helping you, if you have where you have that check-in every week and you have this process and you're checking it, people will hit it as soon as we started doing the checks, are you hitting the 24 to
Accountability.
48 hours? Everybody was hitting it because nobody wants to be the one like, oh, I didn't hit that this week. So, operational excellence, I do teach this and I'm more on the business side, as I said, in its systems and processes and organization. So key
I
nuggets for
love
you
it.
guys today.
I
Write
love
it
it.
down,
So
inspect
true.
it and get it looked at. And because we all know that coaches, that's what coaches are there to help you. But if you don't write it down and can share what you do and inspect it, how do you improve it?
Oh, man, I tell you. So, and the disc. So, D, yes, D, I got your thing. Could we learn more about how many of you would like it if I figure out a way to try to get Deborah to come back in some capacity? She's got a busy schedule. Put a five in the chat. If I can find a way to get Deborah to come back, help you all in some capacity in what she's talking about, that we can blend something together with her. So, we got a lot of fives, Deborah. So, people want
Yeah.
me to figure out a
Okay.
way to get you back. Real
Well,
quick before we
today I
end.
will,
Oh,
yeah, and I do just, but again, if you're a single agent, just start writing down your basic processes, the little things, because it's the little things that are going to help move the needle. And then also the one other thing, write down what you love to do and you're really great at. And then write down the things that you hate and you're not good at. Those are the first things you offload. You get somebody to help you and know your hourly rate. How
yes, that is, people
2,080
have
hours in
no
a
clue what their
year of
hourly
a
rate is.
40-hour work week. How much an hour do you make? Take what you made last year, divide it by 2,080, figure out what your hourly rate, if you can get somebody to to do it for less than you. And it's little things because if you like to go and pick something up and you can have it delivered for less than what it would cost you to drive over there to get it and bring it back, grocery shopping, going to get your coffee, but whatever those little things are to save time and leverage your time are important.
God, I can listen to you all day, Deborah. It just kind of gets me fired up because it's like I ask people all the time, how much is your hourly? Like, what do you make an hour? And most agents are like,
I don't know.
I have no idea. Well, how the
No
hell do you make
idea.
decisions then to figure out what you should be doing?
Yeah.
Brock, how do you go coaching? You do speaking, you do real estate, like. Which one do you do? I said, whichever pays me the most that day. That's what I do. And I got to, know what my
Yeah.
hourly rate is when I go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So, real quick before we end, because we're a little over, give us a little sheriff, because we're going to be in New Orleans the same week. Tell us a little bit about what the NAR's got lined up.
So, yeah, the New Orleans is, and that's for agents too. There's a lot on it that you can attend. That Thursday, November 5th, I'm getting installed as president of the Residential Real Estate Council. So I'm excited. So my whole family is going to be there. But again, there's a lot of tracks and everything that you can attend. And then Brock has his event prior to that. So it's a good week to spend in New Orleans.
I love it. I love it. Guys, put some hearts in the chat. Put some love in the chat. Put some fives in the chat for Deborah. Thank you so much for being here this morning and taking time out of your Friday. to be a part of us. We have Deborah's information all on here, her Facebook, her LinkedIn, her X, all her stuff, her phone number, anything
Mhm.
that I so appreciate when our speakers and our guests give us information about themselves, about their personal, to reach out. This is a perfect opportunity, y'all, to reach out to her, have a conversation with her, pick her brain. And I'm just, Deborah, thank you so much for being here this
Thank
morning.
you for having me, Brock. And thank you for coming out to Nashville too and talking with our agents. And all of you guys, crush it. We are seeing, and I'm going to share because this is really good. Our market is seeing movement big time. We've been averaging, and I know this is kind of crazy, 35 to 40 contracts a week. Last week we had 64. We brought 42 in over the weekend. Our Florida office brought 14 contracts last week and 7 over the weekend. So despite the rates right now, we're seeing some push. It's starting to, and we have a lot of buyers. Our agents are going crazy out there with showings. Buyers are going back to see the same properties 3 or 4 times. So it is, but the market in Nashville is and we're at 5.5 months of inventory right now. So I'm feeling some spring, some
I
spring.
think our spring market's a little delayed, and I too feel that the
Oh,
May is going to be a really good month. All we're seeing some energy coming across, and aren't their numbers crazy? How many did you do? What did you say you did last week? How
it
many?
was 64 contracts last week, but we've been averaging about 35 to 40, which
That's
has been light.
crazy.
But I will tell you, because I watched the 10-year Treasury, and there is a spread between the 10-year Treasury and mortgage rates. The 10-year Treasury spread between mortgage rates is at one of the lowest points that we've seen in a long time. So, and what that means, if the Treasury starts to drop, banks are not as concerned about risk right now, even though everything is ticking otherwise. So if the Treasury comes down, we should be able to see that rate come down under 6. So,
Guys, I'm just
right.
telling you this. I'm just going to piggyback off of her. When this war ends,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the gas prices are going to just plummet, and the economy is the financing that everybody's talking about is going to plummet. And what she just said, the interest rates are going to plummet. If you just suddenly wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, the rate's at 5.9 and the gas is now at $3.20 or 3.19. It's too late. You're going to miss out because those buyers, you got to start today talking to these buyers. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah. And one other little, because I've been telling this one a lot, and I just got back from the gathering for Housing Wire. We track every week, and you can see it in your MLS. We pull this information from our MLS across our 5 counties. Going back to December, we had just come out of the government shutdown. It was kind of, we had about 92,000, 90 to 92,000 showings across our 5 counties around Nashville. Last week, 180,000 showings. So the buyers are there, and you need to be doing what Brock said right now. Now is where you're touching your clients and be ready, because I mean, there's no crystal ball. We all know that. Is the market going to change? Is it going to pivot? But like he said, if everything settles and gets done with Iran, I think we're heading into the election year. So the timing, I think it's just going to be a little bit more delayed,
I agree.
but
Yep.
on your level, do just be doing the consistency stuff right now, because you're going to be ready when it hits. Game
Amen.
prep happens before the game starts. Whoever posted that in the chat is
There you go,
absolutely correct.
Christian. The
That is
Christian.
absolutely correct.
Amen. Guys, thank
Okay.
you guys for staying a little bit later. Deborah, thank you for giving us some more nuggets. I just love this type of stuff too. It gets me all fired up because I just see opportunities that are just waiting here. So, guys, you got some extra bonus coverage today, some bonus material. Deborah, tell
Thank
Gary,
you.
Amanda, and them I said hello. Thank you so
I
much for
will.
being on here. Good luck at your 2 o'clock meeting that you got today with your team.
Thank you. All right,
Everybody have a
everybody.
great one,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see everybody next week, Monday at 8:15. We'll be back for not figured out Friday, Monday mindset at 8:15 Eastern time. Everybody, God bless you. Stay safe. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
See
Thanks.
ya.